Hi, beautiful being under the stratosphere. Welcome to your Tapping 101 training. Now, this is complimentary just in case the ritual you feel left you with any loose cables or any loose situations. This is another way to go through and verbally place the situation in a way where you can kind of walk it out, but also tap it out. It could be like adding just that second layer, that second coating on top of the whole ritual that you already did to make sure that you're feeling confident with this lower frequency or the relationship release that you were seeking. I see there's some things here and there. All right. So just a brief explanation of tapping. It's based on locations and places on the body that align with the Chinese energy meridians. There's no real, I learned it very general. Others will take it specific, but there's no real wrong way to do it, because as far as I'm concerned, it's the usage of the words, as we spoke about, I think in about 4 videos before this one, where I was explaining how finding the precise word for my shoulder was the one that released the energy or the muscle memory that I was holding on to there. So for me, it's more about the words, but the fact that I'm moving while I'm doing and literally tapping it in, wherever you're tapping it at, your nervous system within you reconnects to that different thought. You're just giving it different points. It's kind of like when we're working in massage therapy. If they have something going on in the neck, I might hold them really tightly down at the elbow to distract the nervous system, to give the nervous system another point while I'm working on this here. Because if it focuses just in one spot, then it cannot anchor itself to another spot to release it. It has too much going on. So I think that's why you don't normally tap in one spot. There is this technique where you're just on the edge and you just go through rounds and hold it there. But I found that I enjoyed most going through the rounds on the body. I'm going to explain that to you, and then I'm going to explain what you will be doing throughout the next video if you want to apply it for yourself. So this is just additional. You can explore it. Especially consider exploring it if you feel like there's residual energy after having done the seal the deal ritual. So the first place you will be tapping will be over your eyebrow. I did it here because this way I could look at my therapist. But in a training, I also saw that they cued it that it's right here. So I would actually be covering my eyes and tapping right above the eyebrow. This feels weird to me because I did so many years training right here on the corner. But I just to clarify and let you know that there's many places, right? And it worked just as well for me. So it's up on the eyebrow, on the temple, right underneath, on the top right here. So I'm not on my lip. I'm between my nose and my lip. I'm on my chin. I'm right here. Another place that they say is right here under the clavicle, like the beginning where the sternum is. But I enjoy this spot right here where it's like the pec, right? I can really feel this point. This one is here. The temptation here is sometimes to go lower because this takes work. But down low at the organs, you're not actually tapping on the energy point spot. So it is a little bit higher. If that is hard for you to reach, it's like right where the strap of the bra might go. They do say you can do it this way. So I'm still reaching there. Depending on how the situation is, like, are you able to hug yourself and tap? After this one, there's one right underneath here. This they do in some tapping sequences, and some I saw that they skip this one. It's like right above the lower rib cage that's here. And then you can do the wrists. Sometimes my therapist would skip this. She would go straight from here and we would close and rest, or we would go into it. And the last one was the top of the head. There's also a spot here. And then rest and breathe after that cycle. You normally do round. If you're doing rounds, then you just go straight from this one. You go right back up to the eyebrow. And then you go down again here. I switch hands here, but you can stay with the same hand. Since I'm a yoga instructor, my instinct is like, if this one did it, then this one needs its turn to do it. And like I try to keep it even. And apparently it doesn't have to be with one hand or with the other hand. Sometimes you can also just tap on one side. Sometimes when I was focusing on something, my therapist would come and stand beside me and just tap on one side of me and do it for me while I was verbally repeating what she was saying. And she would only go to here and then she would start back up. So it's very free form, but we're going to do the whole cycle. And in the first part of it, you cover the nature of the pain. So you go through, and here you will need to know what the nature of the pain is for you. Probably we'll give it in the exercise 2 rounds each. So the nature of the pain, and then you move on to phase number 2 is, what did this pain do to me? Now, anytime throughout this, let's say I do the nature of the pain. This pain that lives inside my chest. This pain that moves from my chest into my stomach. Stop right there. What if you're like, I don't feel the pain in my chest. I feel the pain in the back of my neck, or I feel the pain in my arm. There's no need for you to repeat what I say if it doesn't ring true to your body. I'm just telling you, find the location, pinpoint the location, and we're doing, what if I'm saying here, this pain that feels red, brown, and black, and you're like, no, my pain feels dark blue. But all I'm saying is I'm getting into color. I'm getting into texture, Whatever it is, locate it for yourself. And when you do the therapy for yourself, you will naturally look for your own words. And there's only just a little trick to everything, which is add a little more detail. So if I'm saying this pain that is red, brown, and black, I can give it something else, no? I can give it a temperature. I can give it the location. You just try to be one little step more precision, because that helps the nervous system. The mind is trying to help the nervous system find the precision of the location inside, through the emotion inside the body. And this is key for rewiring, right? Because we want to be what's the point of, you're like, I got pain in my shoulder, doctor. And he's like, all right, well, let's just rub it all. And you're like, yeah, but it's right here. And he's like, well, we're around the zone, no, but here, right? Our emotions are the same way. They're like, that feels good, that sounds close, but here, right? Like, and every time you say the words, you're bringing it closer and closer. It's amazing in massage therapy when you find the location of tension, and I'll just hold it for a while. All it wanted was to be found. All it wanted was to know that it was heard, that it had a voice. Even the clients will say like, wow, I had no idea that that was there, that that was happening. And then you just go up it, and then totally the tension lowers a whole level just because it was found, it was addressed. Now, emotions and vibrations inside the body are hidden in different kind of networks. So massage therapy does help with this, like to move that, and when it's moving, it has the option to find its way out. But the words from the EFT technique, that's what tapping is. So emotional frequency technique or emotional freedom technique. I've also heard emotional focus technique. All three of those, right? Frequency, freedom, and what did I say? Focus. I'm like, what did I say? Those are all valid. So first will be the nature of the pain. We'll do 2 rounds. Then we'll do what this pain does to me, 2 rounds. Then number 3, in spite of this pain, I lovingly and accept myself. So there I'm reaffirming, yes, I have this. Yes, I feel this way, but I love and I accept myself completely in spite of it. Then from there, you're going to number 4, which is, I no longer have a need for this pain, so I feel good and well letting it go. Then you will start the release patterns, of letting it go. And then you just end with the peace. So it's in four stages. Then we'll take a pause, and then you'll see what charge there is. So here you apply as well at the beginning, from 1 to 10, how much charge do I have? How much emotional frequency do I feel that this emotion is holding on me? So here, after you have done all the ritual, you can pause for a moment and say, I still feel frustrated. This frustration is what you will work on. This frustration that I feel is, if after that you're not frustrated, but you're like, you feel really sad still, it's just something that makes you feel sad, then what you will be working on, this sadness that I feel. It'll make it a lot easier in your process if you pick one emotion that this makes you feel, and we're just going to work on the one emotion. Because shifting how we feel about it is what actually afterwards helps you have perspective, know what to do, realize actually what was going on. Clarity comes on the other side. Normally the emotions are what cloud us. So tapping, that's why it helps with the focus so much, because you can accept that you feel this way. The emotion is true. This is truly happening to me. I feel this way, but we're not wanting to feel this way. Or how I used to tell my own therapist, what can I do so that it won't affect me? That was my big question. I said, I realize I feel this way. I realize it's not necessary anymore. I know all the steps. I know everything we've done, but it still seems to affect me. When this person says something to me, I can feel it dig into me. So for some reason, I am not immune. We didn't work on what they said and what dug into me. We worked on my frustration with it still affecting me. My emotion of frustration, of it still affecting me. was actually not the problem or the issue, but it was the key factor to get me on the other side, right? So it's so interesting. Sometimes we think it's the one, or it's the person, or it's the thing, but here we're dealing with, what am I actually feeling right now about this issue? Funnel through. Maybe you have several things. Maybe it makes you frustrated, but also sad. Also, sometimes maybe it gives us a sense of fear. Like, will I ever be over this? Am I stuck in this? How long is this going to go on? I'm afraid I can't solve it. Just work on the fear. This fear that lives in my mind. So I'm going to think about which one to pick, but I think we'll probably go with frustration in the next video, and you can replace your tapping session with whatever the feeling is, and you will give it your own colors, your own texture, your own everything. But it will be a demo for us to go through together. I invite you, even though it's not your situation, it won't hurt you in any way, to do someone else's tapping session with yourself, because it'll help you learn the sequence, what to do, and it will also help you see some of the wording that you might want to include in there. So remember, this is really tailored to one-on-one. From the recognition call, if relationships was your lower vibration, then there it can be really useful to do a segment of one-on-one with me or with someone else who does EFT. Could be really beneficial, because then you can get the precision in the wording. But here you are, and I'd say give it a go on your own, and then you can always write me or put a message in the chat, send me a comment, and let me know how it went, or what you would need a little bit of. Maybe it's just one or two questions that you need explained to go further. But I think doing it basically answers anything that you would be wondering what's going on. All right, so I'll see you in the next video, where you will have maybe your first tapping session, or the first tapping session with relationships in the Become Vibrant course. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.